But you see how much kidnappers are picking for victims.
My thing is, government should always say the best lesson. Get that, and I think we get that. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So the support that is needed, and once you get the support, your airline people will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
It is great to have you on the show this morning. Just in case you are joining us for the first time, this is Inside Nigeria, a show where we read to you major stories from 5 different Nigerian newspapers. My name is Tion Joseph. Permit me this morning to start with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, which is the Leadership newspaper. And on Leadership this morning, the major story says 1995 Dubai hotel bombing. I can't talk until U.S. embassy speaks, accused ex-U.S. envoy. You can read the story and much more on page 4. The bullets down there, first one says, I can't recall the incident Mahdi Shehu is talking about. Kaduna ex-military governor General Jafaru Issa. Very last bullet on Leadership this morning says, police, DSS, U.S. embassy, keep mum. Now we have a lot of other interesting stories, but I want to read all so that you can grab a copy for yourself. Marketing 101. That's all I'll be taking for Leadership this morning. Let's move briskly to the next Nigerian daily. And on my list, the next paper we'll be taking is THISDAY. And on this day, the major story says 2023, you must go. Southwest PDP terrorist article. Now let's look at the bullets down there. First one says, resolves to back party's presidential standard bearer. Next bullet says, XVP says, request achievable, but must follow due process. Second to the last bullet, this morning on this day says, PDP candidate has capacity to unite Nigeria, Makinde declares. Very last bullet for this day, this morning says, Ikbazu, PDP needs genuine reconciliation to be victorious. That is all we'll be taking on this day. Let's head briskly to the next Nigerian daily. And on my list, we have The Punch. And the punchy headline says, PDP crisis, Atiku Wabara meet aggrieved governors. Makinde demands a use exit. You can read that story on page 2. The bullet down there, first one says, former BOT chair, Jibrin forced to resign party, still in crisis, says Bode George. Next one says, Southwest PDP agrees to back ex-VP. Oyo governor seeks restructuring of NWC. Very last bullet on Punch this morning says, I use resignation achievable, but must be negotiated to avert crisis. This is coming from Atiku and Benue Senator. That is all we have for the Punch. Let's move briskly to the next Nigerian daily. And on my list, I have The Nation. And on The Nation, the major story says, Makinde leads Southwest PDP on Ayu must go call. Moving down there, the first bullet says, Oyo governor to Atiku, party must be restructured. Very last bullet on The Nation this morning says, Chair's exit must follow due process. That is all we have for The Nation this morning. Moving on to the very last paper before I hand over to the panel discussion says, CUPP uncovers plot to use court to stop use of beavers, raises the alarm over alleged plan to sack INEC chairman. Thank you for joining us, but don't go just yet because there's another segment coming up. Winifred is already in the studio, prepared to do justice to these stories and much more. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tion Joseph. Do have a great day.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Good morning and welcome to this segment of Inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Ubebo and it's my pleasure to be hosting you on this segment. I have with me in the studio a public affairs analyst, Abdurrahman Balogun. It's a pleasure to have you in today's segment of the program.
Thank you very much, Winifred. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, without much ado, we are looking at the cover headline story of on leadership newspaper, Nigeria's most influential newspaper, and it says 1995 Doba hotel bombing. I can't talk until U.S. embassy speaks, accused U.S. envoy. He said, I can't recall the incident Madi Shehu is talking about, says Kaduna ex-military governor General Jafaru Issa. Then police, DSS, U.S. embassy keep mum. That is the leading story on leadership this day, Thursday.
Yes.
And as we speak, the U.S. embassy has refused to comment on the story. And meanwhile, the businessman, medical practitioner, and activist Mandisho did allege that the journalist Bagadu Kato was actually killed by the U.S. was involved in the killing of journalist Bagadu Kato. Okay, you are in a better position to pronounce it very well.
Yes.
So does that mean that foreign interests are involved in destabilizing Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Just to answer that question, interest is always very constant, whether foreign or local, and it depends on whose interest. If you recollect vividly, that was the tick of June 12th struggle,
Yes.
and the said Bagada Kato was favorably disposed to MK Abiola becoming the president of the country. And I think he was writing for the news there. And I was with the Concord then, myself. He was with the news. So those of us who are sympathetic to June 12th cause are being haunted, especially Lagos, Ibadan, media access. Bagada Kato and others, they are Kaduna Kanu access. Yeah. Uh, so that to me could have answered that your question that do you have foreign interest? Of course, the annulment of
And this news is like a watershed in Nigeria's history because prior to this time, everybody have had the notion that Bagauda Kato was actually killed by the head of state
Abacha
through a letter bomb. And now, how many years down the line, we are hearing news contrary to that claim. So how are you relating to the story?
You know, since 1986, October 19, when Dele Giwa was killed, we keep on asking who killed Dele Giwa. So until we unravel the mystery, because there are so many stories around it. The same thing with Bagada Kato. So until these people come forward to really explain it, of course the US will not talk on this because they are picking up an individual. And look at the way Abiola was killed, an individual also from the US was being fingered as one of the mastermind of that killing. So we just want to employ our intelligence unit to continue to do that investigation.
But from the account given by Madi Shelu, he did say that he was actually trying to talk into doing it, planting the bomb for a fee of 1 million naira, and he didn't accept. Obviously, maybe Bagadu Kantu may have accepted, and maybe in the process of planting the bomb, and it went off. And it was
what? Maybe we are. I mean, what ought to learn was that he lodged in Double Hotel and he had been trained. There have been some incidences prior to that time. We learned that there have been offered to him, which he rejected, and then it was due to that they were no longer staying in their various houses. They are now staying in the hotel. Yes. So they trailed him to the hotel, and you recollect they were asking for the CCTV footage of the hotel and all the rest. I'm not too sure whether they'll be able to lay their hands on that. So there are so many things that they have to unravel about that particular death. It was very sad and painful.
Now, with the allegations of Madiche, would you now say that the security issues we are having currently in the country is as a result of foreign, instigation?
Of course, you cannot rule out some of these things. This thing just happen by accident. There are people that are plotting somewhere, planning somewhere, which I think the intelligence again have to unfold, and then the government of the day should really go after them. But once you get the mastermind, the people behind this thing, then the whole thing will calm down. I don't want to say one now because it's still under investigation. You see what the security people did in the last 2 weeks. So something like that could actually happen. And then more importantly, when you are having elections, 5 months into election, 1 year into election, campaign will still start. These are some of the indices of election coming, all this.
You just practically took the words out of my mouth, because the next question I was going to ask you is why now? Because how many years down the line
it is now
coming out to say, look at what actually transpired.
2023 election is throwing up so many issues, security issue, corruption issue. I mean, so many issues, because it's going to be tough. People have now seen that it will be difficult for them to rig. So what they need to do is to rig our mind, pollute our mind with propaganda, information, all the rest, that please, we are your own. So that's why ahead of the campaign, we've been seeing propaganda and counter-propaganda, stories. So continue to hear it. To me, it's normal. When, as a political editor for some years now, I know it's normal when elections are coming. Yeah.
That's what will happen. So it's normal.
It's normal.
Right, thank you so much.
We're only praying that there should not be a bloodshed.
Yes.
Killing and all this.
Now, talking of election, Nigerians in diaspora have pledged to raise and donate about $150 million and 100 billion naira for Peter Obi. Meanwhile, there is a group called Tinubu Shetima Connect asking INEC to ban Peter Obi from the forthcoming election, saying that it was against the Electoral Act. Now, the Electoral Act says that they should not actually ban foreign support for political parties, but not for individuals. Do you think this call is in order?
Well, let me say by saying that there are regulations and for sticking to the rules. If the rule says you can do it, then the call is not in order. But if the rule says you cannot do it, then the call is in order. There are rules even guiding somebody in the diaspora remitting money. You will recollect the NSAS protest.
Yes.
When some people in the diaspora were wiring money through various means, and government had to close through CBN, they have to block this thing. There are rules governing remitting money, either for campaign or for whatever.
Yes.
There are rules governing that. That is one. Two, there are also limitations, either for individual or group, canvassing foreign support for election stuff. There are rules as contained in Electoral Act. So if those people, if they are not aware, because last week, the chairman and CEO of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission was in US and issued the same caveat to the Nigerian diaspora that they should be cautious, that she learned that a party and a candidate is just soliciting for your financial support, that they should look through Electoral Act. They will discover that they are not. It is not right for them to do such thing, to raise such money for that particular purpose. So, if the rule says so, the call by that group is in order. So, I want us to look at the section of the Electoral Act.
The section of the Electoral Act is a political party, not to an individual.
So what does the section say?
That of course, banning and it plays a caveat of about 2 billion naira for a political party.
And now,
it actually condemned foreign support.
Yes, in whatever form, they can still do their support quietly if you are a member of the party. Meanwhile, this is a party who claim that members' subscription is free. So why are you now canvassing for money? This is a party that is known for chichi, no chichi party. That is the slogan. So in such a case, what do they need money for? This is a party who is campaigning against other parties who are claimed to be money bags. This is a party that is for generality of the people. So why are you raising 150 billion? So I don't know. I think either party A or party B, they should stick to the rule of the law. If the rule of the game says you cannot do it, why do you want to do it? There are various ways they can gather support for candidate to be, that I believe, without really making much money. I believe that they don't understand that there's a law. Even where they are in the US or where in the diaspora, they know it's even against the law of the land there. Yes.
But however, diasporans have contributed over $60 billion in the last 3 years to Nigeria's economy. So if they are making that such impact in Nigeria's economy, so why is it so? Is it an anomaly to contribute to Nigeria's political change?
This money they contributed to who? These are money. These are money. These are money that my friend is going back home. And I said, give this to my mommy when get to. Apart from the former one that comes through the normal channels through the CBN and this, yes, fine. Well, fine that they have contributed. And then you are not asking, why can't they do this? This one, they are not contributing it to they pick up a Nigerian sometimes from Dubai or so, because the government felt was contributing money to terrorism. So the purpose for which you are contributing money, I mean, it is allowed to contribute money towards national development. Actually, that was what NIDCOM, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, was established to harness potentials of Nigeria to the diaspora towards national development, towards investment, towards that. If that their effort, despite COVID and all the rest, is now increasing remittances back to the country, that's a good phenomenon. I mean, nobody will criticize because that has not violated the law. I don't know whether you are getting
yes,
that has not violated the law. So they know that they can even do more. In fact, they can do more if they really formalize. I mean, recently, an institution was doing an online launching for the facility. A single person from the diaspora donated $1 million. So that's to tell you that that's part of tapping from our resources there. So that is in line. It's in line. It's in tune with the law, financial regulation, and unlike money for campaign and political activities.
Thank you so much. Now, what's your view on diaspora vote? Like countries like Ghana, South Africa, allow diasporans voting. Why is it that the giant of Africa, Nigeria, does not or is not in a position to allow diasporans to vote?
Sincerely, my position is that we are very, very due for it. But I think the National Assembly is just skeptical. INEC said they are ready. The Nigerian Diaspora Commission said they are ready. But there must be enabling law. Like you see that all the things I've been saying, I always want us to stick to the law. In our constitution, our constitution says you cannot do election outside the shores of Nigeria. And to do election outside the shores of Nigeria, the National Assembly must amend that section of the constitution, just with a clause that elections shall be conducted within and outside the country in the affected area. So, and in the what do you call it? In the wisdom of National Assembly, they believe Nigeria is not yet ripe, that even we have not been able to ascertain or know our number here. What is the total number of voters within Nigeria? For instance, we have over 4 million Nigerians in Sudan. If we want to vote now, and they now said 2 million votes, 2 million votes from Sudan alone, 2 million votes can sway.
Yes.
And then they are also of the opinion that the party in power can utilize the various Nigerian high commissions or embassy to our favor, because what we are saying is that where is going to be the voting booth or something there. So they say, okay, let them vote in the embassies. It should be electronic. They can vote electronically. They can also vote in our various embassies and not the rest. But because we don't even know the number of Nigerians who are in the diaspora. So if it is electronic, do we know who and who that are voting? In Nigeria here, they have captured our fingers. So if you vote, if you are not the registered voter, it will reject it. But somebody in the diaspora, a whole family, they can just stay in one room, and a family of 3, they can turn in a vote of 200 if they like. So I think that those are the fears of National Assembly. So Nigerians that deserve to do voting abroad, doing advocacy. I'm one of those people who are even advocating for it. That despite all the imperfection, let us just start. Let's do it. Maybe we start from some selected embassies in some continents where we have many Nigerians. In Europe, we can start from London. In America, start from America. In Africa, start from South Africa. In Asia, we can start from India, Malaysia, China, where we have most of Nigerians. I think it's doable. But the National Assembly is saying no. Without National Assembly, nothing can be done. So the Nigerian diaspora should put in more interest in that aspect. They should pressurize National Assembly. They should lobby National Assembly to make sure that they tinker with that aspect of the law.
Thank you so much. Well, viewers, you've been listening to Inside Nigeria reaching you on Leadership Television. With me in the studio has been Abdulrahman Balogun, is a public affairs analyst, and I am Winifred Ogbebo. We are going on a break. Now, when we come back, we'll be talking about other topical issues. Don't go away.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Yes, you're welcome back. The program is Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ogbeba. With me in the studio has been Abdulrahman Balogun. Balogun is a public affairs analyst, and like I said earlier, it's a pleasure to have you on today's program.
Thank you, Winifred.
Thank you so much. Yes, we are looking at another topical issue that's making the rounds on Nation's newspaper, and that is on these IU must go, and it's between a fight between Atiku and Wiki. Let's see what this day is saying. This day says 2023 IU must go. Southwest PDP tells Atiku, and of course it's also the same story we have on other newspapers like Nation, The Punch, and now this day. Makinde leads Southwest PDP on IU must go call. Oyo governors to Atiku, party must be restructured. Chair's exit must follow due process. Let's go back to this day. This day newspaper says resolves to back party's presidential standard bearer. SVP says request achievable but must follow due process. PDP candidate has capacity to unite Nigeria, Makinde declares. Ikpeazu, PDP needs genuine reconciliation to be victorious. As you can see, Balogun, this is the same story that is making the rounds on other newspapers. So what's going to happen? And we just have few days for the campaigns to flag off, and we are still having these rifts, this impasse between Atiku, the PDP presidential candidate, and the Rivers State Governor Wiki. What is playing out? What is happening?
Interest is playing out. Everybody's fighting for his or her own interest. The interest, prior to the PDP primary, there was an arrangement, there was an agreement. But somehow, by design or by destiny, the arrangement didn't work out. And now they had the primary, there was a review arrangement. And somehow that one didn't play out. There were promises made to certain personalities, and which they think is binding, but due to some other interests, that promises could not be met. So you can see PDP is making some form of adjustment to see how they can reconcile all the agreed members. It is expected that after primaries there will always be this itches here and there. And I think the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, he has set up a reconciliation committee, he has set up a peace committee, the party itself has set up, but the other side of it, especially PDP Southern Caucus, at the initial, they said the power must shift to the south. Now that a northerner has emerged as PDP candidate, they have the opinion that the next most important position in the party is the chairmanship of the party. The northerner can no longer take that. So that is why they are campaigning for Ayu must step down. All these adjustments they are doing since last week, that the BOT chairman should step down, chairman PDP Northern Governors Forum should step down. It's not what they are asking for.
Yes, exactly.
What they are asking for is Ayu. And Governor Makinde of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, is one of those governors in that caucus with Governor Wiki.
We have Otom too.
Otom. There are about 8 of them. That is what they are insisting on. And don't forget, in Southwest, Governor Makinde is the only PDP governor. So he's a Southwest PDP leader. Yes. And that's why they cannot joke with him. Wherever he takes to, that is where others will follow. And that's why you see the headline saying Southwest PDP caucus, they are also insisting with Makinde that Ayu must step down. And from PDP, they are saying if Ayu should step down, the next person, according to the constitution of PDP, the next person in line to Ayu is also a northerner. Okay. It's also a northerner. That has not solved any problem. And that will also bring some internal restructuring that will also hurt some other people. So they still have time.
But the issue is this that has beggar disbelief is that why do you think the PDP presidential candidate is holding on to Ayu? You know, right from the beginning, that has been the main growth. Wike insists that Ayu must step down. So why is the PDP presidential candidate holding on to Ayu?
Well, I will not
knowing what the effect of his decision.
Well, I will not say it's the one holding on to Ayu. I will say the party. It is what the party wants. If the party decide that,
they will have that, just like what you mentioned, that majority of the governors are with Wike, and they are also insisting like Wike that Ayu must step down. So it's just a select few now, including the presidential candidate, that says no, Ayu's exit must follow due process. So why is this imbroglio? Like some people are saying that there might be some fifth columnists in the party that is just trying to destabilize it before the elections.
There's nobody that is trying.
Do you
Well, if See, again, I'll go back to the law. What does the constitution of PDP say? Are they following it? If they are following it, I mean, whatever happened, they should not blame it on anybody. But if they are not following it, and some group of people are saying, yes, that please so follow what our rule says. You see, why you're having this is when people try to bend the rule. When you try to bend the rule, as a student of peace and conflict resolution, when you try to bend the rule, there will be conflicts. But when you follow the rule, everybody, you're on the same table. You're on this same table now. If I'm doing something underneath, you will be uncomfortable. So, but if everything's on the table, every one of us will see it. But in PDP, some people are doing something under the table. That is why we are having this. So until that thing you are doing under the table, you not bring it on the table for everybody to see me, see my mind, see this.
Now, with the party in kind of somewhat disarray, what are its chances in the next forthcoming 2023 elections?
Well, the Nigerian
people in the southwest where Wike holds sway.
Not in the southwest, so in the
south. In the south, sorry.
In the south.
I meant in the south.
In the southern part of the country.
Okay, so
if they don't resolve this issue, I don't think PDP will have a say at the presidential level in the southern part of the country. And mistakenly, one of the leaders in PDP already said, how many votes are we getting from the south? And that is what really anger the southern governors, even Wike. That you are saying how many votes? Okay, we shall see. We shall see how you win the election without the southern votes. Because for you to win the election, you must have scored 25% in 24 states.
Yes.
In 24 states across the country. That is the 2/3. So if you don't have that, how are you going to win the election? You don't need to have millions in those states, but at least the 25% of the vote cast in 24 states. That's to show that you have a national spread. You can't be a regional leader and win election in Nigeria. It's not possible. So I will only just want to implore PDP to put his house in order, to do the needful. They still have time. Within 24 hours, they can see adjust. They can equally placate the aggrieved members if they want to. But it seems everybody is on his own now. This is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to do. So the chances is very slim to answer a question in a very, very slim.
Okay, and that leads me to ask the next question. Now, can PDP afford to stay in opposition for the next 4 years? I don't want to say 8 years, given that it has been in opposition since this past 8 years, almost 8 years.
What will happen?
Afford to also
a party have been in opposition for 16 years before PDP. Now,
you just remember, APC came up just in 20.
That's what I'm saying. That APC and some other parties, they have been in opposition to PDP for 16 years. So PDP has only been in opposition for 7.5 years. So if they don't, and why they lost the election was things of this nature. Substitution, imposition, and saying what can happen. We are in power. It's a political party of power. But people are now saying, no, it should be people-oriented. It is what the people want. If you really want to have your way. If not, of course, if you don't play your game well, it's a matter of date. If you don't play your game well, they will continue to be in opposition. They will continue to be in opposition. They have a better chance now, but if they did not manage this crisis well, and everybody slow down their ego.
Okay. Talking about election, there's a story making the cover of Daily Independent. It says CUPP uncovers plot to use court to stop use of beavers. That is 2023 general election. CUPP uncovers plot to use courts to stop use of beavers. Raises the alarm over alleged plan to sack INEC chairman. It's on page 29. According to the story, well, I read it. It was actually trending yesterday that plus they already compiled names that they've already released on INEC server. How feasible is this? Because INEC has beaten its chest over time that Beavers is a less rigging proof. So, what is playing out here?
What is playing out here is fake news. What is playing out here is raising unnecessary tension where there is none. What as you said, raises the alarm. Nobody has confirmed anything. They are just raising an alarm. It has not been confirmed because there could have been this. How would somebody be working assiduously, spending billions of naira, and then working for it to fail? I mean, it doesn't sound to reason. I'm not here to defend INEC, but it doesn't sound to reason. But as somebody who covered INEC for several years, I was a former chairman INEC political correspondent for some years, and I have covered 3 chairmen of INEC. I cover Gubadia, I cover Iwu, I cover the one before Jega briefly before I retired to some other thing. Now I know how it works, so INEC cannot plan for it to cut. Well, court they are free if you want to go to court, but the court will rule one based on national interest, based on available evidence, and based on so many this thing. See, politicians are just rehearsing old games. Old games. Do you know there was a time during they brought in a 33,000 loaded tanker to INEC office in my tower, and then they set it loose to roll into INEC office to hit it so that there will be fire. There will be fire, and then they will say INEC is not ready for this election, this and that and that. Why not for the promptness of the security agencies? That thing will have happened. You know, politicians can go to any length to confirm, yes, to subvert the process. Then there are insinuations to confirm it, to say, yes, we have been saying this. So it is the operators that will not allow such thing by doing internal cleansing, because they always do it with the connivance of people inside. Then, yes, there's no way you can penetrate some of those systems.
Not even just INEC.
Yeah, not even just INEC without the connivance. So, and I'm very sure INEC by now, like they used to tell us, apart from these divers, they have a backup. So if anything happened to that, there's a backup. If anything happened to this backup, there's another backup. So for you to not penetrate all these 3 backups, it's going to be very difficult. And what can they do? What they can do is to now say, okay, let's go to court. If court make a pronouncement, since INEC said it will obey the law and order, let's go to court. If court make a pronouncement, INEC is bound to obey so that INEC will not use it. Because with that thing, they will not be able to rig. So if INEC did not use it, so they will be able to rig. Now, carrying ballot boxes, causing this doesn't amount to anything. Because as you are voting here, as it's voting there, the vote, everybody is seeing it. It's been tabulated. Yes, centrally. So, and it's not something to say, okay, you don't even know where the server is.
Okay.
And then headquarters might be in Abuja. The server might not even be here. Might even be in South Africa. I recollect once who walked about there when they are trying to do electronic voting. Then some people they went out and printed some ballot papers and this and that. Not knowing that it was not even Nigerian printing and meat that was printing it. It was printed, I think, in India or South Africa. So it happens like that. So I don't think it's something to worry about. I will see it as a fake news. And you can mark my word. this election will hold. People have been saying election will not hold, this and that. They are the one creating tension. There is no tension. The politicians are the one creating it just to justify that this is so nothing will happen. The election will hold.
Thank you. So, but the election, are we going to see it as a make or mar activity that day? I don't want to use the word do or die, which has been the lot of the elections in Nigeria. So, is it going to be a make or mar this time around?
Well, it depends on the people. It depends on the politician. My own is that it's good for democracy. Let us exchange words intellectually. Let us discuss why this, why not this. Don't engage in violence. Don't engage in bloodletting. That is just my own. All this one that they are just talking, I like it. I don't see any bad in there. I mean, it generates content for the media industry. So we have a lot of things to banter with. So it's not going to, nothing will, whether you predict from here to heaven, it depends on us. See, whatever is happening in Nigeria, they are not natural causes. They are human causes. We are the one generating it. So election will hold. Whether you call it make or do or die, everybody will go there. Whoever want to vote. See what happened in Ekiti and Osun. People say, the election went peacefully at one round, and a winner emerged, a loser emerged, and everybody move on. Even though it's been challenging, court, fine. That is still part of the democracy.
Thank you so much. And lastly, from us in the studio, election campaigns is just less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
So what are we going to expect? What are the fireworks going to be like?
Well, you can see that the parties, they've set up their campaign committees, various parties. I think one party said it has set up, but you will need to inaugurate. Some other parties have inaugurated. They are already coming out with some form of a strategy. And part of the strategy you are seeing is going around to mend fences so that they can always speak with one voice. They've been doing that. We want the issue, the campaign to center around issues. And what are the issues? And these are the issues that have been on even before I was born. I inherited it with the Awolowo's, and the issue is the issue in our education, the issue in our health, the issue in unemployment, agriculture, corruption, and the economy.
The last campaigns, election took, that is in 2015.
Yes.
Corruption and insecurity took the center stage.
Yes.
So is it going to be a dominant?
It's a continuous issue. Security is a continuous issue because we are having that time we had Boko Haram. After Boko Haram now, we have Boko Haram that time and Niger Delta militancy.
Yes.
If you don't forget, in 1999 there we have OPC in Southwest.
Yes.
So now it's now taking banditry. It's now taking out of terrorism. It's now taking kidnapping. It's now taking some armed robbery is minimized. Yes. Because how much will they get from armed robbery? One kidnapping now, we want to go from here to this is ask you to bring 100 million. That's a serious thing. So security. So yes, you see a lot of killing, ritual, this raping, and all these things. So many things are just happening. Well, in a society like ours, you cannot rule that out, but we can minimize it drastically if everybody is comfortable, if enabling environment is provided by whoever is coming, if they follow their campaign slogan that there will be peace for all, there will be abundance for all, there will be job for all our young graduates, there will be this, there will be that, there will be that, there will be housing. I mean, look at this Abuja, see estate litter everywhere. But how many people can afford it? Just yesterday, they were telling me of one bedroom something, say 57 million naira. Buy it in the nearest outskirts here. So
we have so many estates are empty.
Yes, they are empty. They are empty. Why do you want people to get such money? And people want to live well. People want to do this. So I expect the government of the day to provide more of the housing, let the living wage be satisfactory to all. Now, the last time they increased the salary of a federal civil servant was during Obasanjo, when they are doing monetization and all this in 2003-2007. Since that time, nobody has gotten any review. And that's what we are telling ASU to call up the strike and go back to negotiating table. Their own agreement was just 2009. So the same way ASU is feeling, the doctors are feeling so, nurses are feeling so, workers are feeling so, people in other sectors are feeling so. So the campaign is going to center on some of these issues around economy, around corruption, around insecurity, and around education and provision of infrastructure. See the state of our roads. 2 days ago, between Lagos and Ibadan, that would take 1 hour before. I used to do that road in those days within 55 minutes. I've left Lagos by 55 minutes. I was already in Ibadan. Now they were there for 15 hours. 2 days ago. 15 hours. Yesterday, the whole place was still blocked. Not up to 15 hours though. Yesterday. So there should be substitute to our transportation system. Yes. So our infrastructure, they should revisit it. Imagine Abuja, we don't have a metro line. They should have a metro line. I got there a little bit late because of a minor traffic. As we have come into a metro line that will come into the town, we don't need to be carrying all our cars about. So we thought that I wish all the parties well in the campaign. And though another issue that is going to throw up in this campaign is the issue of religion and ethnicity. You can see the three main gladiators.
Candidates.
They are from Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. So religion will play out, ethnicity will play out. You cannot rule that out. But they will not use that as campaign issue. But they will play out.
Yes,
because a party like APC now, they're having their own issue of Muslim tickets. And from section of the country, they are not comfortable with that. PDP is having their own as ethnicity that is playing out there. Then Obi is from the east. The ethnic something too is.
It's not the tag of IPOB hanging on his neck.
It is there. So all this, I don't know. So we pray that may God heal our nation and let us have a peaceful election, and then people should just go and vote peacefully, and then let the best candidate
win.
That will be the best for the country, and so that Nigeria will retain its giant of Africa status in the Committee of Nations, win the election.
Thank you so much, sir. It's been a pleasure having you on the program, and I look forward to having you more. See you more on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, viewers, this is what we'll call it today on today's Inside Nigeria. Don't forget, tomorrow is another day, same time, same station. I remain Winifred with the ball. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.